JJ Solomon.
This comrade Bradshaw, Mr. IOTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. This is the Spit Bucket Podcast.
It's your boy, Mr. IOTBA, Mr. 214, Senor Dos 14, Senor Dos 14, Mr. Undeniable, Mr. D Boy can't touch me. On my worst day, right here with my partner in crime, my brother from another, a.k.a. Jose Solomon Jr., a.k.a. JJ Solomon. What's poppin', my guy?
Happy morning to you. Good morning, bro. We're trying to do this new morning.
Man, good morning, bro.
The TSP morning show. I like it.
The first
TSP,
one, bro. We might have to do this on a regular couple of times, maybe a week, my boy.
I like it. That coffee ain't gonna drink itself, bro. So what's this episode? 43?
42.
Yeah, it's 42. No, 43, 42.
Hey, this episode 42 of 43. Hey, one of them. And we appreciate everybody who tuned in or who done been tuned in for the last 40-some episodes. Now, before we start our show today, we need everybody to hit that like button. Hit that share button. You know, if you ain't subscribed, please subscribe to the Spit Bucket Podcast. Please, please, please. It'll take number 5 seconds. Just click right there. Right there.
Yeah, you
right
know where it's
there.
Great. We got big news, man. We were going to come on yesterday, but fantasy football took over, dog. My apologies. And you know how that goes. And then it got a little too late, and the mama wanted me to come to bed. And you know how that goes when you got the pregnant lady at home, dog. So it's like,
oh man, we know how that's coming, man. Hey, how your fantasy go yesterday, man? You confident about your squad?
I'm confident. I got me some sleepers. I got I'm feeling good, dog. I got Justin Fields as my quarterback, so if homeboy can stay healthy, he put up some big numbers for me last year. We'll see, dog. We'll see. I'm just excited. Football season's rolling back, getting back into swinging things. It almost seems like I've missed a lot because boxing's been so damn busy this year. But let's get right back into swinging things. Starting Thursday and then Sunday with Cowboys Giants. What do you think, real quick? Let's talk Cowboys Giants real quick.
What's popular? Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys, man. Shout out to the New York Giants, man. Sunday night, man. You know, these two teams last year, especially the Giants, surprised a lot of people. Daniel Jones, he showed up and showed out. He had his moment where he said, all right. Saquon Barkley, you know, he did his thing. I'm coming off injury, and he appears to be much better. They done got that offensive line, better defense, better. So, like I said, if you're a New York Giants fan, I would be excited about the Giants. Let's go with the Cowboys. You know, we have made a lot of changes. We got Mike McCarthy calling plays this year. We know the last time Mike McCarthy was calling plays, he won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers.
I like it, bro. I think our defense is stacked, bro. I think we have an opportunity to have one of the best defenses we've ever put out in the field, including last year's and including them teams from the 70s. So I'm still not sold on our offense. I'm still not sold on Dak. I don't know how we're going to be able to protect him. Say what you want about Zeke. Zeke provided a hell of a pass protection for Dak. I don't know if we've got the running backs to do that. But
Tony Pollard, Malik Davis, or Deuce Vaughn. What Deuce going to do?
Yeah, exactly, dog. That's what I'm saying. So that's my biggest concern. If we can keep Dak up, we know he's got the weapons. Just see if he can hit them. But obviously, I'm picking my boys, Dallas Cowboys, coming out, starting the season undefeated with the big win.
Oh no, Jay. I think I might have to go with the Giants in that first game. I don't look. You know, I'm a Cowboys fan to the fullest. I just think, you know, looking at the Cowboys, it looks wonderful.
Every year,
just like a good medium rare steak with a loaded baked potato. It looked wonderful, Jay. But in reality, we really have to start looking at Dak and who Dak is. It starts with the leader of this team because when we look at everything else we got surrounding around us, it's intact. And our leader in Dak, he has to get the job done, and he ain't been able to get the job done, Jay, in the last 3 or 4 seasons. This guy don't know how to anticipate the pass, throwing a lot of interceptions now. And Jerry Jones, man, look, got a lot of love for Jerry. He brought 3 Super Bowls, but Jerry Jones, it's about the glamour of this Cowboys team, JJ.
And
It's
that's what
about
I'm
the
talking.
glamour. It's no longer about winning with this team. Like, and I'm sick of it. I'm fed up with it. Jerry Jones care about the Cowboys being the biggest, highest franchise in the world. Instead of picking a product and putting the right product on the field. Jerry, we see what Dak is and what Dak can do. Why are you still continuing to let this go? It takes for you to take a hit to rebuild everything back right, bro. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles, bro.
They've done it 2 times. They have rebuilt 2 times in the past decade and played in that Super Bowl, bro. One of them, which they obviously got the W. And yeah, we sit back and everybody, we got the fancy stadium, and yeah, we're worth $8 billion, and the ratings are great whenever the Cowboys are on. Who cares? I don't. I'm not getting a penny of that money. And it's about time that Dak is 30 now, dog. This is his 8th season. I'm not that convinced that we're going to see something that different than we saw last year or the year before. And I hate that our $40 million quarterback, you might be able to say, is the weakest link on the offense. Like, it's a damn shame. Maybe not this year with our new batch of running backs, but still, your $40 million quarterback should be the reason you're winning games. And for me, I haven't seen that. Yeah, Dak is a good quarterback, but he's not worth what we're paying him yet. And listen, I hope this all changes. I hope in January and February we're singing different too.
It won't. It won't. It won't. Cowboys got rid of our big time play caller.
Kellen Moore.
His name. Kellen Moore. They got rid of Kellen Moore, JJ. Like, are you serious, JJ? Kellen Moore, this is the same guy who had us with the top 5 offense at least the last 2 or 3 years.
And
they blaming him. Sure. They blaming him.
They're blaming it on him because of those 2 years in a row against the 49ers in the playoffs. We had a really bad last drive. But you got to look at the big picture. I'm not saying Kellen Moore was the answer. I'm not saying getting rid of him is wrong. I don't even know anymore with these Cowboys. I don't know anymore. This is the year. I keep hearing it. What's up?
You know what it is? No, it wasn't that we had 2 last bad drives. It's because our quarterback couldn't lead us to the destination. JJ, to win in this league, your quarterback 9 times out of 10 has to lead you in this league, especially in a big moment. Dak Prescott has not been able to do that. Dak Prescott has really been, a disappointment to the Cowboys. When Stephen A. Smith say, what's his famous line? He said about the Cowboys, accident waiting to happen.
Yeah. Something like that.
That's all Dak is, bro. Like, I truly don't know if Dak work on his craft. I truly don't know if Dak look at the things that he do wrong and try to get better in the offseason. Because the Dak I'm looking at is the same Dak who has been here since day one. I have just not seen any improvements of this guy, JJ. And this is a reality all Cowboys fans have to see.
That is 100% truth, dog. A no lies detected. Now, for the big story we're going to lead with Bomac across the pond after an enormous win that we're going to get to here in a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the Eubank Liam Smith rematch. But the big news that broke yesterday, Brian Bomac McIntyre was headed home and got caught with a gun in his bag and is now locked up, bro. It sounds pretty scary, man, from all accounts that we're hearing. He was in court yesterday, and it looks like he is holding until October 9th now, bro, to decide to see where he's going to get, how he's going to get sentenced and all that sort of deal. All I know is he's stuck in a jail overseas, and it's bad news, bro. I feel bad for him because you're talking about these past 30 days have been the highest of highs for him, and now he's sitting there not knowing what his future looks like. What are your thoughts, man?
It's mind-boggling, Jay. My thing is this, Jay. I could be wrong until more news come out, but I'm just speaking of what I'm seeing. It looked like a setup to me, JJ. Look, now, JJ, I have to give Bomac McIntyre the benefit of the doubt that he's not that stupid. He's not that ignorant to take a loaded pistol from the 402 to across the pond, sir. I just cannot believe Bomac is that stupid, JJ, to where he would do something that ignorant like that, Jay. This I'll go back to the clip we put up on the Spit Bucket Podcast Shorts. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Wasn't that the promoter, JJ? And being Islam, whatever his name is.
Yeah. We threw the
He
towel.
threw that towel. Exactly, and Bomac threw it back at him. JJ, one thing about them people across the pond, they don't like Americans. I mean, not all of them. And to be honest with you, JJ, black folks across the pond, they get treated a little different. I'm just being honest with you, JJ. From what I heard, the different things I heard, like how can I say after Bomac put on another performance of a lifetime where Eubank beat the crap out of Liam Smith, made the promoter look bad. The promoter remember him throwing the thing and Bomac throwing the towel right back at his face. I just feel like it's a setup, Jay. Hey, I could be wrong. I got the right to come back and recant my statement if I am wrong. I just don't believe Bomac is that stupid, JJ, to take a loaded pistol.
Well, my rebuttal to that is I don't think it's stupidness, bro. Let's take just a couple looks. Ryan O'Hara from NY Fights, a couple of excerpts from an excellent article, just kind of laying down the laws right now and what's going on in the UK. Possession of a handgun is generally prohibited in the UK. They got strong handguns. Most handguns have been banned in Great Britain since 96. Couple things, according to Section 1 and 2, the UK Firearms Act of 68, Bomac could face up to 5 years in prison. If the prosecutor can prove that Bomac purchased the weapons in the UK, he could spend up to 10 years behind bars. And then the last little clip I'm going to show on here, there's also a question of whether Bomac flew via commercial or private aircraft to England. All signs are pointing, because I know yesterday when you and I spoke, that was the first thing. How did he get in? I've read, who was it? I think Gail. I forget who I saw it on, but it looks like he flew in on a private plane, dog. And I just wanted to use this as an example. Remember a few weeks ago, we were with Ness. And you remember what happened in the hotel lobby. And Ness is so used to his lifestyle, either in Florida or in Vegas, where he can just walk around with his deal, bro. Ness didn't remember the laws in Texas. And he was surprised because he was used to doing something. So nobody's going to say, damn, Ness, you can't be that stupid just to be smoking in Texas. No, you just get used to a certain way. Bomac got mugged in England the last time he was there. So there's a reason he's going to want to take some protection. You know what I'm saying? He got mugged. It was an attempted
mug. What you mean got mugged?
Bomac, last time he was overseas, it was an attempted robbery of his wallet. So something you got to factor in there. So yeah, you're going to take some protection. You're thinking in the United States, as long as I lock up my gun and it's not loaded, I could travel with it, whatever. Bro, it was an exciting weekend. He won, it was a huge weekend for him. He probably wasn't thinking about it. I'm not going to say he got set. Everything looks suspicious a little bit right now, dog. But there could be ways when you factor in what happened last time he was there. Private jet, if that's true, it could have been a mistake that hopefully doesn't cost him these next 5 years, bro. And right at the peak of Bomac's prime, I guess you can call it. It's a sad story, man. And I hope we get him back soon.
Yeah, man. Very sad. I didn't know about the mugging, but this is my thing right here. You down there with Chris Eubanks, and you have his whole team around you. Nothing's going to happen to Bomac. You know that Chris Eubanks is a very popular guy in the UK. Nothing was going to happen to him. Look, JJ, I just can't believe Bomac could be that ignorant. If I'm wrong, like I said, I'll come back and recant my statement. I feel like it's a setup, you know, but if it's not a setup and the evidence come out to show that Bomac did bring a loaded firearm, whether it was via private jet or however he did it, you know, then it's a problem. But this is my thing right here, Jay. Wasn't he in Las Vegas? Wasn't him in Eubanks? So how did he get so did they take a PJ to Las Vegas too?
Did they take a what? Oh, I mean, bro, I mean, shit, probably if they're traveling domestically. Here's another thing, dude. So one of our Spit Bucket group members, shout out to Neil Mark Bensley. I was talking to him. He's over from the UK, and he was saying that even though they have real strict gun laws, like if you get caught, you're going to jail, you get locked up for a long time. It is very, very easy, especially if you got money and you know the right people. Very, very, very easy to buy guns out there, dog, especially in Manchester. So, again, I don't think Bomac would be that dumb, but if you
think
get
Bomac bought are you saying you think Bomac bought a gun over there?
All the possibilities.
No, I'm saying so. No, I know you. So, yeah. But you was insinuating that the guy from the Spit Bucket podcast on Facebook. Everybody, make sure y'all go get that page. And like, you insinuating that the guy saying on Facebook, what's his name again?
No. He's not implying that. I asked him, how easy is it to buy a gun out there? He goes,
no. So okay. So
Neil Beasley,
you're thinking that because he told you it's easy to buy a gun. You think Bomac bought a firearm from somebody over there?
This was before I heard about the private jet. So that kind of how it got there was my biggest question yesterday. How did it get there without being noticed? And then how did they notice going back? That's when I was feeling like a setup. Then I heard about him being mugged before. Then I heard about the private jet, possibilities of private jet. And then also I was like, well, shit, how did he take it in? That's why I was asking, how hard would it be to buy? You know, let's say Bomac has homies out there, because Bomac has been on record saying he loves it in the UK. He loves it out there. So if he's got some homies saying, hey, bro, make sure I'm protected next time I go out there because I don't want to get mugged. Here's the money I always got. I'm just throwing out all possibilities, dog. You know, and shit. Obviously, we still got to let the facts come out. We haven't even heard a statement from Bomac himself. So we'll see, man. I'm just hoping for the best for his ass.
It's a mockery to me, though. It's like, I forgot that UK over in the UK, their own police don't even carry guns.
Yeah, it's strict.
I forgot.
The shit out
so I told my guy, the outlaw pugilist, he brought that to my attention that the police don't even carry guns over there. And they were telling me yesterday, it was him and another guy from the UK. They were telling me that Bomac, with good behavior, if this is to be true, he's going to have to do at least 2.5 to 3 years, JJ. And another thing, damn, it's September the 5th today. He got to wait all the way to October the 9th. He got to be in there over a month. I know the gun laws are stricken, but we're talking about a public figure. Mm-hmm. Everybody around the world know him. Like, Bomac is the one recognizable guy. If you're into boxing, if he walked down your city, you will know that's Bomac. And there's no shade at him, but you will just know that it's Bomac. Where is the bail at? What type of laws do the UK have? Like, I do understand if you have priors, if the UK can look and see, because everything is public information. If Bomac has priors, right, I can understand them holding him for over a month because, okay, this dude has a prior gun possession, his criminal history, like whoopty whoop, but over a month, he can't get bail.
Dude, and that's why, and I heard that was again, talking to that guy I was telling you about yesterday from the group, and I'm not saying he's an attorney or anything. He said that he was surprised that Bomac got such a fast hearing because Bomac was actually yesterday in front of the magistrate court, which that itself takes normally months. So they expedited him. And again, he was saying, I assume it's because he's a public figure. So October 9th date in front of their Royal Crown Court or whatever it's called out there, that should be taking months. So it's actually expedited for him, and it could be because he's a public figure. Also, I was reading up on the jail that he might be at, bro. That's not no in the voice of old trainer Silence, that's not an easy peasy. Like you could look up Strange Way jail, the Strange Way facility out there. They got movies on it, dog. And that could be where he ends up. It's a good chance where he ends up. So this is one of them good opportunities to thank God what we got in America, bro. Because you say what you want about guns, and if you hate them or not, we have the right to do what we want, what we want, and without worried about losing. Obviously, if you don't do some dumb shit with the gun, then you're in trouble. But all he was doing was carrying it for his own protection, based on what happened last time he was there. He went out and pulled off an incredible win this weekend, and look how his life is going to change because of some city little laws, man. It's terrible, dog.
Hey, respect to all the people. That's why I don't travel aboard, JJ. Like, because of things like this. That's why I love the country I am in. When I tell you I bleed that red, white, and blue. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's when I tell you I bleed that red, white, and blue, and so thankful that I'm from the greatest country on the planet, and that's why you don't see me, or you won't see me go to the UK, you won't see me go to Jamaica, you won't see me go to Mexico, you won't see me go to none of these places because of things like this. JJ, Americans, we are targets when we go aboard, JJ. Like, I'm not putting this jacket on everybody back aboard, but I've seen cases where Americans, they don't get treated nicely.
Dog, we've seen 2 cases. Look at Brittany Griner's situation. We get used to things in America, and we hate America, and we talk about how terrible it is here. And then we go to travel, like you said, go hit some travel internationally. Oh, and then we remember real quick how good them stars and stripes are to us. And same thing now with Bomac. You get real comfortable, and you get used to these freedoms we have here. And you travel somewhere else, and we don't have those freedoms. Hell, we see it in Mexico when we go visit family or if I'm vacationing or whatever. It's not just red, white, and blue, and maybe somebody will take a second and realize what we have here in this country, man. But hey, good luck to Bomac. But let's talk a little bit about the good side about what happened to him this weekend, man. Any follow up on Bomac's legal situation?
No, just put a damper, JJ, on the excellent performance. Like we're gonna get to now, that he displayed this previous weekend. It sucks, bro.
Yep, it's terrible, man. But let's talk about Bomac's accomplishments and his good side of the weekend. We don't want to just talk doom and gloom. We had a rematch between Liam Beefy Smith and Chris Eubank. The first one was a knockout. Liam Smith came out and knocked out Eubank. Nobody saw that coming. There was an elbow there that nobody seemed to have talked about this weekend. But look, Eubank, after the incredible performance by Bud Crawford on the 29th, reached out to Bomac's team and he fired Roy Jones Jr. and dog. I mean, we saw a night and day performance from Chris Eubank. Liam had some excuses. He had some reasons, and we'll cover those in a little bit. But first, let's talk Chris Eubank, what you saw in such a short turnaround, dog. How impressed are you with Eubank? How impressed are you with Bomac?
I had to beat the Bareface. Could you believe it's Butterface? JJ, I couldn't believe what I was seeing today because I did not think, listen, after Chris Eubanks got knocked out, I thought it was a sinking ship, JJ. a sinking ship. I thought it was over with, right, with him. You know, I thought Liam Smith was going to come in here and do the same thing again. And not just me, a lot of people across the pond, especially one of the shows I love to watch called Talking Sports. It's a guy named Simon on there. I love that show. Shout out to them from across the pond. It's called Talking Sports. Everybody, if you don't know what Talking Sports is, just look it up. It's a guy named Simon. Everybody was over there picking Liam Smith to win this fight. JJ, now look. Shout out to Bomac and his team. When I tell you they got the juice, JJ, they got the juice, JJ. And it's clear cut, no debate, JJ. How can you look like that after getting beat like that or getting a devastating knockout like that, JJ? That showed me that Bomac and his team are the best in the business, JJ. And not trying to switch subjects. That also showed me that you can switch trainers in a short period of time, JJ. I don't care how bad the loss was. You can switch trainers in a short period of time, and you could come and do the unthinkable everybody thought that you couldn't do. That was absolutely awesome.
Dogs.
I'm talking about awesome.
I don't know that I could say. I was trying to think before we went on today if I ever seen somebody like this make such a change in such quick time, and I can't remember, man. Like, you know, De La Hoya went through a bunch of trainers, and you could see little influences of, obviously, you know, when he had Mayweather, it was way different, but De La Hoya was always putting out something good. Chris Eubank went from looking terrible and then getting knocked out to damn, dog, he dominated. He dominated. He was, I mean, he wasn't the most fastest. He still looked real slow, but dog, just placing shots exactly where he was supposed to place them. Liam had nothing. So shout out to Eubank. Shout out to Bomac. That was a hell of a performance. Bomac, regardless of what happens the rest of the year, regardless of his legal situation, he's a front runner for Coach of the Year, right? Undoubtedly at this point. Bud, Keyshawn, and then now Eubank.
Absolutely. It's not even close. It's not close.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 1,000% about that. And I have a couple quick follow-ups on trainer, but I want to talk about Liam's excuses and how much. And he's doing the I ain't trying to make no excuses, but he dropped 45 pounds. He said, and then that caused him to be clumsy as hell in the fight. We got a couple of pictures where he twisted his right ankle and then immediately twisted his left ankle right after that, bro. He was tripping all over the place. He had nothing left in it. Do you think this was all Eubank and Bomac just dominating, or do you think there's any truth to him just cutting weight and that being the reason he lost? What do you think, dog? Just more bullshit excuses?
No, I think it's bullshit excuses. That's on him, JJ.
Yep.
I mean, him coming out off the biggest win, you know, it wasn't the biggest win of his career, but like that was huge for him to come in there and beat, even though he's more accomplished than Chris Eubanks. That was big time for him to come do that because a lot of people didn't see him doing that before the fight happened. So, yeah, I think it's just a lot of built-in excuses. That's Liam Smith, Liam Beefy. Look, you heard about the name Beefy. So if you know you're Liam Beefy Smith, you should have went into training camp earlier, sir. So I'm not trying to hear none of that that's coming from Liam Smith camp about his shoulder. I don't care about his ankles in there. You should have had somebody lace your boots up tighter, sir. So I think it was all Chris Eubank and Bomac. Liam Smith, he was on this high horse. If I would have went in there and put on the victory like Liam Smith did, I would have thought I was going to win too. But I don't want to hear nothing about the work that you didn't put in, sir, because you were the clear favorite. I'm talking about, JJ, now I'm kicking myself. We should have bet some money on Chris. You know, you could have won a lot of money on Chris Eubank.
The Vegas odds were. Was it nice? Was he a heavy underdog?
Man, it was not. It was the heavy. Liam Smith was the heavy favorite, bro. So that's on him. I'm not trying to hear none of that. And that just, like I told you, bro, when you win these guys, and look, leading up to the fight, his campaign was how Chris Eubanks Jr. was making all the excuses the last fight.
Exactly, dog. Exactly, man. And as soon as the fight's over, I twisted my ankles. It's a little bit heavy. Hey, but look, I'm gonna lead to this. All due respect to one of the GOATs. But this weekend, he wasn't even on TV and he got exposed. And I'm talking about Roy Jones Jr. Was this not the biggest exposing of Roy Jones Jr. and his inability to coach since Antonio Tarver knocked him out? This is the biggest exposure of Roy Jones Jr. because we saw Eubank was lost, confused. We've seen Roy Jones try to teach other fighters how to be Roy Jones. You cannot do that. What was your takeaway, dog, on kind of like, damn, Roy Jones to Bomac, that big a difference?
Oh yeah, it was. Look, JJ, we was talking about this last time they fought. Look, Roy Jones was a good fighter. You know,
excellent fighter.
Yeah,
he's not fundamentally sound.
But he was also like, you know, he was a good fighter, but Roy Jones also he got caught, you know,
juicing.
Yes.
Yes.
So, my thing is, like, I love Roy Jones as a fighter, but you know, when you get that on you, like, how many times was you juicing? Because you did look like a physical form every time we seen you in the fight. But yeah, it just shows. It was a clear example that Roy Jones, your fighting style was one of a kind, right? And that's what you deserve credit for. It's not your style can't be taught to everybody. That's why I'm so mind-boggling when I see a video of Big Charlo, Jamal Charlo, the 160-pounder fighter. But then, JJ, I'm like, this the same Jamal Charlo who we just seen get the shit slapped out of him by Caleb Plant. This the same Jamal Charlo who news been going on about him and his family, you know, and a separation, not so separation. What? So you telling me that you getting Roy Jones over Ronnie Shields? I'm mind blown.
Dog, I'm mind blown too. And you saw just the clip we just saw. Like, what is he teaching, dog? Like, second part of that clip, he's got guys walking in, not walking in with the jab, not leading with the jab, off balance. Like, Roy needs to understand, and the people who call Roy need to understand. Roy, like you said, was one in a million, once in a lifetime. You know, you say what you want about the PEDs. I'm put that aside. Let's say he was just blessed and, you know, gifted with those skills. You cannot teach that. You can't teach a fighter to fight with his arm down. Because you know what happens? Ask Chris Eubank. You get knocked out in the 5th round by slow, beefy Smith. So, like, Roy Jones needs to stop teaching what he did, dog. That video with Jamal Charlo just silly. I hope Jamal is not taking that serious. You got Ronnie Shields in your corner. All right. That's one of the GOATs right there. That's a guy who's going to bring out the best in you. Roy Jones is a name with a cool ass history and a big name in boxing. Please do not go down that road, man. And I say this respectfully. I say this with Roy Jones being one of my favorite fighters of all time. But you got to call a spade, bro. And Roy Jones.
I can't say it respectfully. JJ, go back to that video again. Go back to that video when he's showing them how to punch. Not that
I don't even know what's going on here, dog. Like
JJ, if you go like when it gets to that, like what is he doing? Like I ain't gonna say Roy Jones didn't have no skills, but look Charlo, look right there. He look off balance, right? He don't know what to do. He like, what is we do? Huh? What is we doing? What? Who is that standing next to him?
I don't know. He's the star pupil or something, dog. Because Jamal was lost as hell, man. So Jamal
Oh
needs to worry about
man.
getting his life together and doing what Jamal does best. That's boxing, not trying to be Roy Jones.
How long is and this the thing right here? Jamal Charlo, what is you doing working with him? Is you working with him because Roy Jones know how to talk to the media and Ronnie Shields is a guy who stay away from the media? Do you need a guy out here who could talk for you and big you up and tell the people how nice of a guy you are and how hard you train and stuff? Like, I don't get it, JJ. And another thing, how long is Mauricio Suleiman gonna let this dude hold that belt?
Damn near reigning champion for 3 years, bro. And yeah, like, look, and Mauricio is like all about family, and we're a family, and we're gonna get him all the help he needs. And I'm with that. That's beautiful. But you shouldn't have to hold a division hostage like that. There's other fighters that need to support their family. There's other fighters that need a shot at a belt. And look, this ain't a knock on Jamal, but what's he can't defend his title, so you take it away. It's been almost 3 years, bro. I think it's like 820 days now or some shit like that. So I don't know what's going on. The WBC has made some questionable moves, that being one of them. Again, you mentioned stripping a fighter and everybody just jumps all over your ass. It's not a knock on Jamal. If he can't fight because of family situations, well, hey, come back when he's ready. But in the
For 3
meantime,
years though, he been in a
almost three,
family situation
it's
for
800,
3 years.
800 something days now, dog.
They say, how can his brother Jamel, as soon as he step into the ring, he gets stripped of his WBO title, but his
It's
brother Jamal could hold the WBC belt.
Suleiman, bro.
Like Mauricio Suleiman, he got to do better. Like I know he got his name, the WBC. They say it's the most prestigious belt. He talks nice with fans. He's a fun-loving guy. He'll sit at the bar, have a drink with you, discuss boxing, JJ. But he's showing to be the most corrupted, what do they call
The sanctioning body.
yeah,
He's
he's
the
one of the
president.
most.
President of.
He's
He's the
like one of the
president.
most. He's the president,
Yeah, he's the president of WBC.
and I think he's the most corrupted president in the sanctioning bodies. JJ, this dude will like. What is Al Heyman paying you? How is your relationship really with Al Heyman? Because for his fighters, boy, you talking about get to run a mile with that WBC. Jesus Christ. JJ, we see Hakeem Thurman. It took them 2 years. We seen with Earl Spence. Earl Spence, like he was at the ring for a while with his car injury and then his retina, but he got to hold on to that belt. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is what needs to be looked at. Why is the PBC fighters able to, get away with a lot with this WBC guy and,
belt.
the most...
It's the green belt. The green belt, dog. And this ain't... I was just watching over the weekend Julio Cesar Chavez versus Costa Zoo in 2000. Jose Suleiman, Mauricio's pops, R.I.P. Jose Suleiman, was the WBC was the only sanctioning body that had Julio Cesar Chavez ranked, bro. And that was the very end of Chavez's career. Like, he had nothing left in the tank. But Chavez brought the money. Chavez was Mexico. That's where WBC is from. So it's all about money to them, and they're proving it. And then you can just sprinkle in the stuff they're doing with Bivol. Since Bivol's from Russia, as if Bivol is Putin himself, Suleiman's not going to give him an opportunity to fight for the WBC belts in better BF. So it's just they pick and choose what they want. They pick and choose who they support. All respect, because growing up, I loved that green belt, but kind of getting to see the backside politics of boxing, man. There's no reason Jamal should be champ right now, dog. And that's not a knock on Jamal. He's got shit to handle. He's not there. He's not ready to fight. All right. It ain't a bad thing. There's other people ready to be champ. Let them be champ or fight. So
JJ,
excellent.
I will say this. I think the WBO is doing the best.
Hell yeah, they are.
JJ, in my opinion, I think the WBO is the best sanctioning body in the sport of boxing. And this is the thing right here. When we get a chance to interview Mauricio Suleiman, that will be in the near future, real soon. We're gonna ask him these tough questions because this is a guy who like to smile, like to wear all the fancy suits. He like to make sure he got the right mousse in his hair and have it slick to the side with the part showing and shit. Like, he needs to really stand up and answer these questions. Like when Earl Spence brought it up, even Bernard Hopkins was bringing it up back in the day. Why do they got to pay all these fees to these sanctioning bodies? I'm starting to get it now. Why Floyd Mayweather say now, or why all these young fighters saying now, it ain't about the belts.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't be about the belts with me either, JJ, if I got to pay all this abnormal amount of money. You know, I'm sorry, Mauricio Suleiman is doing a horrible job, and we need answers.
He's doing a horrible job of keeping it consistent. Picking and choosing what he wants is what he's doing a horrible job at. Yeah, he's got all these fancy belts, and he's marketing the shit out of his company. Don't get me wrong, but he's doing a horrible job of consistency. And then I was gonna and to the point you made, shout out to Broadway Joe. I know you don't spend a whole bunch of time on Twitter, but Suleiman, Broadway Joe on his podcast had Suleiman on, and he was asking the tough questions, and Suleiman was pissed. Suleiman went on Twitter after and said, "I don't think I'm doing any more of these interviews with these content creators." And you know what? Broadway Joe wasn't asking anything inappropriate. He was asking the tough questions, and Mauricio did not want to answer them, and he went viral because of it. And we're starting to see, when you peel these layers back, what's going on, dog. And I don't know why we don't just go to one Ring Magazine belt. There's no sanctioning fees. That's the champ, period. I don't know why we have to have all these ABCs, alphabet belts, 4 belts, 5 belts, regular belts. And imagine if you're new to boxing, how the hell are you supposed to understand what belt is what and why is this guy the champ and I ain't never seen him fight? It don't make sense, bro, but that's a whole...
The WBA is corrupted. Look at Rolly Romero got a belt. The IBF is corrupted. Look how long it takes for them guys to get their shots. I think the WBO is the most respected sanctioning body in the sport right now. And I think Mauricio Suleiman not want to answering tough questions and saying he's not going to do interviews no more, that's showing his guilt because he see everything is finally coming to a head where everybody is paying attention now of why is this happening? Why did this guy get to hold his belt? Why is it okay for certain fighters but not other certain fighters? Because you better believe, JJ, if it was a guy who didn't have a big name and he was a champion, he didn't bring money to the table, that guy Mauricio Suleiman, he's not having it. And he showed he was money hungry, Jay, when he came out with the what was the WBC belt, you know, where Teofimo was saying he was undisputed. What was the name of that belt?
Bro, I lost track of them, dog. I lost track of all their belts, Paul. They're little hoop. This ain't the WWE. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We don't need the hardcore championship belt and Tyson Fury's white belt. We don't need that shit. Who cares, man? But look, that's enough of that. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, there's a little rumor floating around about Spence and Derek James that we'll address that. And then also Canelo throwing some shots at Bud Crawford. Be right back.
We all have battles. We fight. We train. We work. We persevere. And we celebrate. We are all one.
I can't do anything if I can't walk in my prosthetic. It's a lot of pain that I feel throughout my day. It can be very intense. Now I just put that balm over it and it will heal up much faster and it'll let the callus recover. That's amazing. It is a total game changer. I am hooked. I am absolutely, I'm just hooked.
Life is hard. KO makes it better. KOCBD.com.
KOCBD.com. Be sure to lock in that discount code TSB10. Promise you, if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be able to sit on this uncomfortable ass stool for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours talking to Mr. IOTBA. Yeah, so let's get back to what we were talking about. No, not back to it. Let's talk rumors. Let's talk some rumors. We usually don't address rumors, and we usually don't put on things that maybe don't come from a source, but this is a rumor that's picked up some steam. It involves a local guy that everybody loves, but we've seen a tweet over the weekend saying from the account of Canelo Lesnar breaking. Sources close to Errol Spence Jr. declared that he's broken ties with longtime trainer Derek James. Calvin Ford and Roy Jones Jr., speaking of the devil, been named as top candidates to potentially replace James. Listen, dog, this is a Twitter account that's gotten over 1 million views. No, close to 1 million views with this tweet. It's popping up all over Facebook channels and YouTube channels all over the place. I think it's bullshit. Corey, could we possibly be seeing the end of the Errol Spence, Derek James? I'm sure you'd be dancing hip, hip, hooraying for there. What are your thoughts on this, dog?
I hope so.
I knew that.
I hope it's true.
Short and sweet.
It's true. I'm about the fighter, JJ, and like you said, your favorite fighter growing up was Oscar De La Hoya, right?
Him and Mike Tyson.
Him and Mike Tyson, and we look at both of them guys. They made changes in their coaches along their career, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like Derrick James and Errol Spence have did the most that they could do together. People like, TBA, Corey, you jumping the gun over one loss. It's not just over one loss. It's the way he lost in the biggest moment of his career, JJ. And his coach or him had absolutely no clue what to do inside that square circle. And JJ, this is what I talk about, the ego and the arrogance of Derrick James, right? Because, you hear a lot of us going back and forth, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We used to say how Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. He ain't done this. He ain't done that. Derrick James, it's like he was listening to what we were saying on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook instead of actually doing his homework and his research, JJ. JJ, this is the same guy who said he got 3 trainers. Well, he got all them trainers. This was Derrick James. July 29th showed you why they got all them trainers. JJ, this is also a guy in Derrick James who said numerous times in the media, because he tried to make himself feel like he just better than everybody else. I don't watch boxing. On my own time, I don't watch boxing. I don't do none of that. Well, Derrick James, if you're not watching boxing and you're not paying attention, that's showing you're doing the injustice to your fighters. Because this is the thing right here. We all knew that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was going to eventually clash the last 5 years. This is why I say I hope it's true that Derrick James get fired. Over the last 5 years, you could tell Bomac and his team, who got the juice, they did their due diligence and research to make sure they broke Errol Spence down from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. You could tell in that fight, Derrick James' arrogance and ego, he just thought his fighter was better. He didn't show his fighter different things that he needed to do to offset or the type of mistakes that Terrence Crawford made, JJ. He had the arrogance and ego to just think his fighter was just better.
Dog, you hit the nail on the head. I think based on what we saw, yes, Errol was undefeated. Yes, Errol was a 3-belt champ. Yes, all of that. Kudos, salute. How much of that was just Errol, though, dog? Because and I've said this has been my criticism about Coach Derek, is that he's not a teacher. He will make your attributes better, all right? A fight like a fight against Terrence Crawford, especially now going into a rematch, he's going to have to teach Errol a thing or two. He's going to have to teach some new things. Not being a physical fitness trainer after hours. You know what I mean? You can't be running your physical fitness, your gym for middle-aged women when you have a Anthony Joshua and Ryan Garcia and Errol Spence. You just can't. It's time to get to X's and O's. It's time to get down and figure out, how am I going to beat Terrence Crawford? It's not just, yep, I'm coach of the year. It's just going to come to me. I have a great fighter. He said it himself when they asked him, you know, is Errol better than Bud? Well, I have a better fighter. Okay, let's see you turn him into the better boxer, dog. All right, this ain't the UFC. We're not seeing who can push each other around harder. No, this is let's box, and you need to train them. Now, going back to the rumor, what I don't believe, what made this rumor unbelievable for me is the replacements: Calvin Ford, Roy Jones Jr. I know Calvin Ford denied it, and then we had a conversation with somebody close to the camp that said, I won't give too many specifics per their request, but essentially said it was all bullshit after a long conversation with Coach James. So we know that to be at least true, that we heard from a reliable source. However, like you say all the time, Corey, if there's a buzz around it, it had to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? And there could be some truth to this. Who would you want to see as a replacement, dog? Just want to throw that question. Discuss this.
Calvin Ford is one of them. I would like to see Barry Hunter as one of them. And JJ, I would love to see Kenny Porter. This is why I say Kenny Porter is a better coach than Derrick James, right? And all them guys really is, because
you said all those guys.
Kudos to Derrick James, but Derrick James always got ready-made fighters, JJ. That's facts. So that's the Kenny Porter, right? Because this is the epitome of showing that you really do this. He built a champion from the ground up. When we look at Sean Porter, he ain't got all the accolades. He ain't just as special as we see these other guys. But guess what? He had a father that trained and built him up to make sure all his deficiencies he have, he's going to be able to capitalize on other things that he could do, JJ. So I would love to see Kenny Porter in Earl Spence Earl Spence new head trainer, because this is another thing. Not only does Kenny Porter know Earl Spence, Kenny Porter knows Terrence Crawford. Kenny Porter and his son Sean Porter, they grew up in the amateurs together, so he knows Terrence Crawford. Not saying that this will do anything in a rematch, but JJ, I'm gonna go back to this because I think it can do something in the rematch, like we spoke on earlier with Chris Eubanks Jr., right? And I spoke on this a couple of days ago. I say, now, people out here tell me, oh, you can't change trainers and you want to be. I say, look what Chris Eubanks Jr. did. He did the unthinkable with a guy he barely worked with, JJ, in a short amount of time, and was come out there to put on the best performance of his lifetime. So I'm telling you, it's a possibility that Earl Spence could change a Virgil Hunter. I'm going to throw him out there. He can go with one of these guys, and it's a strong possibility that he could win this fight. Because one thing for us as fans and people who follow the sport and stuff like that, yeah, and we do have an eye for boxing, but them super top trainers, they really have an eye for boxing. Yeah. And they could look and see some of the things that Terrence Crawford was open for, that Earl didn't capitalize, or how Earl should have stepped across or did this or did that. So I hope it's true, JJ. Derrick James showed me nothing in that fight, and it was embarrassing for him at his biggest moment when he was up there talking about let's eat, because he looked like he ain't missed a meal in weeks. Remember that?
Yeah, where's that energy for the Charlo Canelo press?
Yeah, where's that energy? Yeah, like I said, it's another. Oh, thank you for reminding me that, Jose Jr. That's why I say. That's why I say you got to look at, even with black fighters and Mexican fighters. Look how that black trainer had all that energy for the black fighter and the black trainer. He didn't even want to shake Terrence Crawford's hand, and he acted all snobbish So what's Terrence Crawford? Look what he was saying about Bomac. But when it comes to Eddie Reynoso, the Mexican light-skinned color trainer, oh, he's going over there to give him a hug
Bro,
and
I
say,
think he was
Kumbaya,
humble, dog.
Kumbaya, and he over there bowing down to Canelo saying, none like, I ain't trying to, I'm just saying, Jay.
No, man. Yeah, I think that specific rumor from that specific account is bullshit. But if Errol is a smart man, Errol comes from a smart family. He's got smart people around him. I think he'd be silly not to at least evaluate it, bro. Especially coming off, like you said, what Chris Eubank just did. Obviously, that's Bomac. Errol can't pick up the phone and call Brian McIntyre to come train him. But there are things he can do. He can pick up some things. Again, Ronnie Shields, you know, close to home. That's something that I'd like to see too. Ronnie Shields, any of the guys you mentioned, except for Roy Jones Jr. that was on that tweet. Please, God, don't train. Keep him out of Dallas for the next 6 months if possible. One more quick break. We come back, dog. Let's talk a little bit about Canelo coming out on some recent comments about Bud Crawford. It's going to be pretty interesting.
All right, listen up, guys. We're calling all Little League coaches. We're calling all middle school coaches, calling all high school coaches. We're calling out all those team mamas. If you need team uniforms, if you need jerseys, accessories, whatever gear you're looking for the team, please check out our friends over at Elite Sportswear. These guys do it all, and they do it great. So if you're needing a brand new look for the younger athletes, for the teams, do me a favor, trust us with Elite Sportswear. These guys do all of our gear here at Spit Bucket Podcast, hats, shirts, hoodies. We could not be more pleased with them. So check them out over at thebetteruniform.com. You can find them on Facebook at The Better Uniform or on Instagram, Elite Sportswear 17. That's Elite Sportswear 17 on Instagram. Again, if you want your team looking super fly on game days, do yourself a favor, do the squad a favor. Call Roderick and the team over at Elite Sportswear ASAP. Let them know the Spit Bucket Podcast sent you.
Shout out to Elite Sportswear, man. Check them out at thebetteruniform.com. They got some really, really sweet gear, dog. Obviously. Look at us. We didn't even plan this. We're in hoodie mode today because it's not 110,000 degrees outside. So where were we? Canelo Crawford. Let me just play the clip. I'm going to play the clip, and then we'll get into it.
He just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter, like Errol Spence.
There it is. Canelo coming out saying, well, who has he fought? Who has he fought? Bud Crawford did respond with the, here we go with the, I haven't fought nobody, but Spence talk. Y'all so delusional. It's crazy with the laughing emoji. What are your thoughts, bro? What are your thoughts?
It's true. I mean, it's true, but in his biggest moment of fighting Earl Spence, he showed that he was who he said he was, JJ. So it is true. But in his biggest moment, not only did Terrence Crawford show up, he showed the F out. So all that talk about he only did this and he only did that, that went out the door. Because if Earl Spence was so great, like Canelo said, that fight wasn't competitive at all, JJ. So I don't like the way Canelo downplaying Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I look at Canelo being a bigger guy. I would favor Canelo if they was to fight each other just off the pure size. And I know Canelo ain't no Earl Spence. His coaches teach him head movement, unlike Derrick James.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
learns.
Yeah. So I just I don't think I think it's true what he's saying. I got to respect what he's saying, but Canelo got to understand also in the biggest moment, Crawford gave that dude a religious ass whipping, JJ.
Absolutely, dog. Absolutely. And it's again, you start to see patterns. And for me, I'm not even for a little bit there, I was excited on a potential Canelo Crawford fight down the line. But that little comment from Canelo just tells me it ain't gonna happen, bro, because that's what he does. You see these tendencies and these patterns from folks like Canelo, and if Mayweather would do it a little bit, like almost implying that Crawford doesn't deserve a fight with him or something. Dog, what Crawford did, and look, well, shout out to Big Fish. Big Fish is on, said, hey, where's his damn donuts? Thanks for jumping on early in the morning with us. Fish also said, I disagree with Canelo. Bud haven't fought nobody. That's not a prime Spence Jr. I'm going to be more on J.O. Shout out to J.O. Canelo, in my opinion, never really beat prime elite A-level fighter without controversy. That's my point. What Bud did on July 29th is bigger than anything we've seen from Canelo already, dog. That first fight with Triple G, bullshit. I don't think you can see it. Bullshit. He looked like it. We seen what he did with Mayweather. We saw how he looks against Lara. Come on, Canelo. Don't be no hater, dog. If you want to talk your shit, back it up in the ring. But don't start playing these games like Crawford's Andre or something, which I would have loved to see Canelo versus Andre too. This is the Canelo. If y'all want to go back to episode 1 of the Spit Bucket podcast and the very first argument that Correa and I got into in front of a national audience, this is the Canelo that pisses me off. And we're starting to see it again. Dropping little hints on who has he fought, and with his English. I'm glad you learned English, Canelo, but I'm already tired of what I'm going to start hearing from you about Bud Crawford. That's my morning sermon, dog. Because I seen that from Canelo, man, and I about lost my shit. What's that, Lukey? What's up, Loki? Yes, please hit the like button, dog. Please hit the like button. I appreciate y'all tuning in while my partner's hyperventilating. What's up? Go for it, man. Say something, because I'm hot.
And to your point, like, not only did Canelo lose, like, he ain't really beat nobody, JJ. Like, he beat people, but he ain't beat, like, when it came to his big moments, JJ, Triple G, he lost that first fight. He waited 4 years till Triple G got damn near 40 before he fought him in the second fight. JJ, he lost to Laura that first fight, JJ. Mayweather beat the cowboy shit out of him that first fight, JJ. I'm trying to really think of a great fighter that Canelo beat, because Canelo Bivol beat the shit out you. Who have Canelo just really beat? Like, I give Canelo credit of his Mexican fan base of being the A-side over everybody he fight, Jay. But who have this dude from Guadalajara, Mexico, really fought at prime level, and we could say he won clear cut, no debate?
I agree with, and I'm not gonna sit here and say he hasn't fought nobody, because they're doing a disservice, and you're never gonna hear me discredit a resume. I feel about Mayweather or Floyd, about Canelo, especially in the latter part of his career, the same way I feel about Mayweather in the latter part of his career. So I gotta be real careful I'm saying this, but Canelo, honestly, my favorite Canelo performance was when he beat Cotto, because Cotto was coming off of a great performance against Sergio Martinez, and Canelo looked damn good against a smaller Cotto. With the exception of that, Cotto was there towards the end of his career. Cotto had been through some wars. You talk about Pacquiao, Margarito. With the exception of that, Canelo cannot talk. Now, Big Fish, you're talking about Canelo can't hate on Bud. Canelo has done way more in the sport. Public perception, accolades, money, sure. But the real boxing eye, and I'm not saying you're not, dog, but we're Crawford ain't done. I don't know Canelo. I don't know if Canelo's going to accomplish anything bigger than he already has. So it's safe to say Canelo's kind of on the downslope. Crawford still has opportunities to do even bigger and bigger accolades.
And to that, I disagree with Big Fish too, because Crawford 2-time undisputed, JJ, in 2 different divisions. Crawford was a former unified champion, so he has done more than Canelo in his career. Now, money-wise, have he made more money than Canelo? No. But, like, doing more wise, if you looking at the accolades, it ain't even close. Mm-hmm. Like Lukey just said. I mean, he said Canelo messed up when he went on fighting British fighters who no one wanted to see.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what started the narrative that he don't fight black fighters, he don't fight athletes, he's cherry picking. And how do you argue against it? And this is the argument I always have made. Canelo is a hell of a talent. He passes the eye test. I see a lot of holes in his game, but I think he could have beat all the big names when we really wanted them. The Jamals, the Andres, I think he would have beat them. Just like I think Floyd Mayweather could have beat Tim Bradley. He could have beat Paul Williams. All the guys that Mayweather got accused of ducking, I believe with my whole heart that Mayweather would have beat those fighters. I hate that Canelo and Mayweather, salute to both of them, faces of the sport, but I hate that they left room for doubt. And my issue with the fans is you can't hate what Floyd did and praise what Canelo does and vice versa. You can't hate what Canelo, call him a cherry picker, and praise for Floyd. Floyd made the blueprint. Canelo's doing the same shit.
And let me take that back. I'm taking my pick back. I don't favor Canelo. I favor Terrence Crawford going into this fight day. I really do. And it ain't nothing to be hating on Canelo. It's just like, Canelo, when have you really challenged yourself? Like, over your career, like, everybody who got a name for themselves who want to fight Canelo, you haven't found anybody. What the fuck have you did?
Exactly.
Like, everybody who got a name and who want to fight him, he don't want to fight him, bro. Like, why is you fighting Jermell Charlo instead of fighting Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade? Why is that fight not happening? Andrade is an undefeated former Olympian. He at 168 right now. You guys have his. Why isn't that fight? You guys are both 168. Why isn't that fight happening, JJ? He's going to get the advantage of fighting a guy who he have to bring up 2 weight classes, JJ. A guy who has been off over 16 months, JJ, by the time they go into the fight at the end of this month. Canelo Alvarez is making a mockery of himself right now because we're always hearing that. I don't know what beer company, if it's Michelob or Corona, who he signed, or Hennessy, who he signed to or something, but that money he getting from them is polluting his mind to really think that he could be able to speak on another fighter like this who accolades are way higher than yours, a fighter who actually want to fight all these fights in Terrence Crawford, but was never afforded the opportunity. But when he finally got that fight on July 29th,
look what he did.
No doubt. So, Canelo, shut up.
Facts. Canelo, shut up. Please, man. General Big Fish, I want to clarify what I'm saying. Floyd fought way better competition compared to Canelo. I'm talking about Money Mayweather. I'm talking about those last 7, 8 fights, the Robert Guerreros, that sort of stuff. They're towards the end of his career. No doubt, Pretty Boy Mayweather, in my opinion, had a hell of a run. But just the way he finished his career, and let's put the cherry on top of Conor McGregor, it disgusted me. Same thing how Canelo kind of was picking and choosing and doing all the UK fighters and all that. Put a bad taste in my mouth, especially now when he's criticizing Crawford's resume. So those are my thoughts on the matter. I hope we see that fight one day. I hope it's sooner than later so we don't have to hear how old Canelo is. Look, we don't have a fight lined up for Canelo in May. Why can't we see a Cinco de Mayo bash between Canelo and Crawford? That fight don't need to marinate. We could go straight into it.
So. How we going to do that when we got to see this rematch?
We could do it.
I don't know if it's going to happen in December, JJ.
Well, if it don't happen in December, he's not contractually obligated to do it. And if there's an opportunity with Canelo, shit.
So this fight has to happen in December?
I'm pretty sure that's what the contract said. I'm pretty sure that's you see.
Are you super confident? Are you super confident in Crawford coming into this fight, possibly without Bomac?
I would be confident because he's got a team there, bro. He's got Red there, and I always forget the Mexican guy's name, the other guy in his corner. But I think he'd be fine. Let me just double check these that we didn't miss any.
Lukey made a great point. Go to what Lukey said about Canelo.
The undisputed run.
He said, "Yeah, that's a great point, Lukey."
Yeah.
He said he think Canelo's 2022 undisputed run was put into motion to help his career legacy. That's a great God. Damn it, Lukey.
To me, it looks the same as because look, when me and you were dead, and there's people doing virtual podcasts and shit like that in 20, 30 years, all they're gonna see is undisputed. Oh, this guy was undisputed at 168 pounds, and he was just a little guy. All they're gonna see from Floyd Mayweather was, damn, he went 50-0, and he fought all these former world champs, and all they're going to see is the paperwork, and it's going to be hard to argue it because, they're not going to see the front line like we're seeing right now. So yeah, Luke, you're absolutely right. Floyd Mayweather putting McGregor there as his 50th fight. That looks beautiful. This UFC champ, whoa, yeah, one day history is going to make it look like it's bigger than what it was. When in fact, we know what we know, man. And that's just how I feel about it. But
Canelo ain't a bad fighter. He beat Caleb Plant. Beat the shit out of Caleb Plant.
No, and I'm not going to say Canelo's a bad fighter. And he beat the shit out of Caleb Plant. And say what you want about Kovalev being out of his prime. He took Kovalev's best shots. He knocked Kovalev out. That fight looked a little fishy to me, but still, dog, you can't argue Canelo being a good fighter. But one day somebody's going to look at the history books and try to call him the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. That's not the case. They're going to just look at the history books, look at the record. That's not the damn case, man. That's it.
Say J.O. say, do you know if Bomac having this gun charge will keep him from training fighters over in the UK the rest of his training career? Absolutely. I think once Bomac get this done with, you'll never see Bomac in the UK again. If I'm Bomac, I understand that the grass ain't always greener on the other side. And this American soil is the best soil to be on.
Facts. Say that again, dog. Yeah, and dog, we gotta come together as a boxing community and hold cool, good thoughts and prayers or whatever for Bomac, because from what I hear, I heard a case. I was reading up on a case of a soldier, dog, who had a gun that he wasn't supposed to have, and I think he even had permission from. Long story short, his case was way, way cooler than Bomac's. He's a soldier. He had permission, and even he got sentenced, dude. So it's not looking good for Bomac. There has to be a real legitimate reason, and he has to have the right permission. We might not see Bomac training for 5 years, man. He might be put away for a minute. So thoughts and prayers for Bomac and his family and everybody that's involved with that, man, because that's a tough one.
Hey, JJ, at the shining light in his career, something that him, Crawford, and the whole team been waiting on. They knew that they was the truth. But this is their glorified moment that they're finally getting their just due and respect. And this is what happens right here.
It's a damn
like
shame.
You say, our prayers is for Bomac, and all you foolish ass Earl Spence fans out there who making all these posts.
Facts, man.
And saying this because Terrence Crawford beat your guy in Earl Spence. Y'all are ridiculous, and it's a Bush League move what y'all doing out there. Listen, the fight is over with. Terrence Crawford became the show that he was the better man. We can't do nothing but tip our cap to Terrence Crawford, tip our cap to Bomac. But for you ignorant mofos out here who are Earl Spence fans, who are making these memes, making these posts about him, I'm letting you know right now. If you in my group on the Spit Bucket podcast, if I see me and JJ group on the Spit Bucket podcast on Facebook, if I see any post from any of you dudes making fun of this situation of Bomac, I'm going to delete you and block you, and you will never be in this group again. Like, this is life we talking about. This is one of our, if you're from America, this is one of our American people who trapped in another fucking country, right? Because he was going over there to do his job, right? We don't know all the details. I'm thinking it's a setup. It may not be. I heard new information about Bomac getting mugged. So that's validity for him to want to come over there. What you want him to do? Walk around the street with a billy club on his corner to stop the mugger?
Yeah, man. No, man, facts. And I agree with everything you say, dog. So I'm wishing him the best. Hopefully we get his ass back soon. And just shout out to the good stuff he's doing, putting up the gyms, keeping the kids off the streets. It's not like he's doing bad shit out here and constantly in trouble. He's doing good stuff. And so salute to Bomac for an incredible success accomplishment this weekend. And we're praying that you get back home ASAP, brother, and for all your family. Corey, it's been a fun morning, man. I appreciate you jumping on early this morning to see if we can do it again. Shout out to the sponsors, KO Therapeutics, Elite Sportswear. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like we said, please like, subscribe, and share with your boxing friends and family. Corey, you have a hell of a day, dog. Let's get up on out of here.
This is JJ Solomon.
This Corey Bradshaw, Mr. IOTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.